Welcome aboard. This is the Miles to Go podcast. And now here's your host, Ed Pizza.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Miles to Go podcast. We have a full lineup today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 12 stories that we may not get to on the docket here, but a handful of weeks ago we did sort of a around the world quick travel recap, and it seemed to be one of the more popular episodes. So we're going to try and cover a lot of ground today, Mr. Kerr. And I guess a quick hat tip, since you've changed from the local hat, to congratulations on the Braves win and enjoying some pretty affordable baseball tickets with your son, courtesy of Capital One.
Great night last night at the Braves game. Great victory. We got the infield tickets for 5,000 Capital One miles. We used Hyatt points to stay at the Hyatt place that you can walk to from the Braves Stadium, which is remodeled on the inside. But wait for it, Ed. They have renamed the Hyatt Place Breakfast Nook. And I sent you the picture. The Placery.
You did.
You now have
breakfast at the Placery.
Hyatt Place Breakfast at the Placery. And we've paid a marketing agency to come up with that for us. So great night. I think my win streak now is 6 in a row. Brave games I have attended, they have won. We had a great time. So nice. If the Capital One makes those tickets available, please go take advantage of that.
I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, I think that's one of those sweet deals that you've been able to score a couple of times. I have not been able to score any yet, but still keep some Capital One points in reserve just in case. If you're just tuning in, first time listening to the show, you can text us or leave us a voicemail at 571-293-6659. You can also find both of us on social media. He is at Kerrpoint. I am at Pizza in Motion, and the show is the Miles to Go podcast on Instagram and TikTok. And as far as I know, TikTok's still alive, now suing the federal government to keep them from going the way of the dodo bird. Yeah.
A lot of dodos on TikTok.
There are a lot of dodos on TikTok. I'm not one of them, but I hear there are a lot of dodos there. As well, if you want to join us for weekly happy hours, it was good to see you and Julian last week. We got another happy hour coming up later this week. As part of our Slack community, a few bucks a month, you can find the link in the show notes to come join the Slack community. There are a bunch of channels there where we answer travel questions. There's some other travel experts that help answer questions. And, as a segue to our sponsor, we are giving away a couple of Thrifty Traveler Premium annual memberships in the Slack community. So if you are signed up, you'll have a chance to win that, which is a great segue into thanking Thrifty Traveler again for being a sponsor of the show. You can save $10 off of an annual subscription to Thrifty Traveler Premium using the code GO10 for Miles to Go. And boy, was it a busy week for good offers. So I wish I had the time, but Singapore first class suites were on sale. That was one of their nerd alerts this week. Business class from Auckland to the USA for $2,000 round trip. There were flights to the Caribbean for 17,000 points round trip. There was just a bunch of stuff. And then a friend of mine booked JFK to Milan for 87,000 miles each way on Emirates, which I think is one of the strongest redemptions out there. You know, Milan's just a great place to visit. Emirates has an excellent product, and that JFK to Milan nonstop is super, super clutch. And I'll take it all day long for 87,000 miles.
You really get excited when those nerd alerts show up. Although I cannot book them near as much as I used to.
I know. These like kids and obligations and all this stuff, day jobs, stuff gets in the way, man.
Like so bum.
Here come the 1-star reviews. Politics.
Just gotta trigger people.
Alert.
We gotta trigger people.
Trigger. We only take 5-star reviews here on the Miles to Go podcast. So there's a link in the show notes where you can help us do that. Or you can hop on YouTube and leave us a review there. Either way, you can also shoot us a comment on YouTube. I answer all the comments there. Always happy to have interaction from folks. And if you are on YouTube, you get to see all of Kerr's very animated faces throughout the episode as I say things that continue to astound him that come out of my mouth. So
astound is one word. And just to make both sides equal, thanks, George W. Now we'll get everybody triggered.
The 1-star reviews are pouring in as we speak. But because we've chosen to tip this third rail at the beginning, we're going to launch right into Congress because why not? So
let's go.
It wouldn't be us if we were going to tackle a travel story about politics and not be making fun of what the government is doing, because the majority of reason why we bring this stuff up. So Congress has waded in here, and while this language hasn't passed yet, there's this threat of language passing that would require automatic refunds anytime your flight was canceled or delayed more than 3 hours, 6 hours for an international flight. And I mean, the language has sort of bounced around the last few weeks. I understand what the government's trying to do here, but before I jump up on my soapbox, because I'm reserving mine for a little bit later, I'm curious what your thoughts are on Congress dipping in here to this process.
It doesn't matter what they come up with and what they pass. The airlines are going to find a way around it. There's going to be some new product or feature that's going to make this erroneous. And actually, in this case, I can't think of another good or product that I buy that's automatically refunded to me. Like, I always have to go and request a refund. So I'm okay with people requesting refunds. But at the end of the day, whatever language they come up with, there's going to be a new little fare class box, a new little asterisk, a new little footnote that gets around this, and it's not going to end up doing anything like they thought it would be. Or it's just going to make air travel more expensive. If the airlines know that we always have to automatically refund in the case of a 3-hour delay, they're going to be like, okay, we're going to charge everybody $200 more to cover the times we think that's going to happen. So, I don't know. Go worry about something else. Go fix people's lives. Please don't worry about this.
There is nothing there that I disagree with, Mr. Kerr. I would also add that automatically refunding people, I think, creates a set of adverse circumstances, because now what you've got is, in a situation where your flight is canceled and you're already at the airport, the thing you likely want most is to be put on another airplane. And in some cases, airlines have interline agreements. So United will put you on Delta or American. There was a point at which Delta didn't have an interline with American, but they do now. So the big three all have interline agreements with each other. The low-cost carriers don't. But, I mean, at least you've got that chance. So, to what you said about refunds, like, I want the ability to select a refund. But if an airline can just say, hey, here's your $200 back for your ticket, go buy another last-minute ticket for $1,000, have fun with that. Now I'm at a disadvantage. So I think there should still be affirmative obligation to get me to my destination if that's what I choose. And if I don't choose that, then yes, there should be a very easy way for me to get a refund. But I would be afraid of the airline tweaking this to their advantage if it was automatic refunds and going, hey, here's your $200 back. Sorry, see you later. Now I don't have to resolve this irregular operations issue.
Man, my son Thomas has an autoimmune disorder, and his doctor has one of the 2 specialists in the state of Georgia. She has just stopped accepting health insurance altogether because she's tired of dealing with the overhead. So my options now to get my son treatment for one of the 2 doctors in the state of Georgia is to pay cash out of pocket on a subscription basis to keep our place for the chance of getting an appointment with her. But yeah, let's worry about this. Let's make sure that we got more useless regulations on air travel. Because you know what my congressmen and senators' answers are for me so far for my son? We don't have one. But by God, we will support automatic refunds for airline.
Amen.
That's all I have to say about that.
All right, next up
and
on
no
the
clear lines. Clear.
It's only California. It's only California. The other 49 states still like us. Don't push everybody else off the cliff just yet. All right, so let's talk about the Chase Sapphire cards. And while this isn't a 100,000 mile sign up bonus, it's an increased sign up bonus for Chase Sapphire Preferred and Chase Sapphire Reserve. And I think the interesting thing here is, you and I have talked about this a lot over the years. Like, the Chase Sapphire Reserve feels like a card that is that they were overextended on, that Chase was, in terms of making money off of the card. And so I'll admit to being, like, if you're right, I'll admit to being a little bit surprised that they goose the sign up bonus here. And it does make me think to some degree that they're making money on the card, because a 75,000 point sign up bonus is not small.
Man, first of all, you can't say Chase, you can't say Sapphire. We're trying to get paid here, man. Okay, so Blue Bank.
Thank goodness. No, Blue Box, not Blue Bank, Blue Box.
I thought, it's that one, my favorite one special credit card. Comment Blue Bank in the comments for me to send you my link so I get paid. I think here's my very quick take on this. Besides the idiocracy of every time I see somebody write Blue Bank in social media and go along with these shenanigans so they get paid, the person in charge of the sign-up bonus and acquisition doesn't talk to the person at Blue Bank that is in charge of making money, and neither one really cares. They just want to be throwing individual goals that they're going to get evaluated on, that they can say whatever they want anyways. And the acquisition person needed to get some more accounts, and they don't care. They're just going to do that. Cyclical as these things come and go, and they're going to get a bunch of new signups, and then they're going to lose money, and the world will go on, and I don't even know if banks have to make money anymore. I think it's a big nothing burger, and I actually think that I was on the Chase Sapphire Preferred train for many years as the best card to get. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think there are a lot better other cards that the average American every day who has one credit card and can pay off every month should use. So I think this is a nothing burger. But understand, all you out there got to get paid, so Go Blue Bank.
Thankfully, I don't have referral links for this card, so I can be honest with you, and I can use words like Chase and Chase Sapphire. I tend to think my gut, and I don't have any inside information here, my gut is that I'm guessing that to some degree Chase Sapphire Reserve is a profitable portfolio for them. I don't necessarily think it's their most profitable portfolio, but while you're likely right about left hand, right hand, and not talking to each other, I just think that at this point, there are probably enough people redeeming points in an inefficient way that they are able to not lose their shirt on this card. That's
Everybody's using it for Apple gift cards. I think that I have the 10% bonus for the gift cards or statement credit or those kinds of things, which is great because that's how you and I get to do awesome things because there are people out there who are willing to do that. So, and at the end of the day, not everybody wants to travel. So if Chase has plenty of people that want a new pair of AirPods, like great. I mean, literally, awesome. Like you got free AirPods for something you weren't going to get anyway. So please keep doing that, and the rest of us will have our cake and eat it too.
Yep. I would say on Chase Sapphire Preferred, I would be encouraging folks to consider this offer. There are cards I would say that could be a better fit for folks out there. I do think that Sapphire Preferred is one of a handful of good entry level cards, and 75,000 points is a decent sign up bonus for a $95 annual fee. So it's possible this card gets back up to 100,000 point sign up bonus, but I don't think it's likely in the current environment. Rates still haven't come down. Banks are making plenty of money. So I think this is probably the best it's going to get for a while.
But then what happens once this elevated offer is gone? Their account acquisition tanks because everybody's just going to be waiting for the next bonus again. And that's one reason I don't prescribe from the business side of offering sign up bonuses because it teaches people the wrong behavior. It's not good for overall card acquisition. Now, as a user, great, I'll take another 75,000, but you can do that with a neat card anyways, even when you're over 524. So
sometimes when you're over 524, like when I got my Chase Aeroplan card, which if I wasn't under 524, I'm clearly over 524 again for some period.
Have you spent over $1 million on that yet?
It's only been 2 weeks. I'm only halfway there.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, let's talk about a new card on the block, which I actually feel pretty optimistic about. The Wells Fargo Signify Business Card. This is an unlimited 2% cash back card, which in and of itself is what I would say good, especially on the business side, because there aren't a lot of 2% cash back business credit cards. But I think I like the wrinkle here that Wells has added, similar to where Chase is if you're in the Chase family and you have more than one card. If you're earning, quote unquote 2% in cash rewards, you can also have another Wells Fargo travel product, and you can use those transfer partners via that travel product. I'm curious what your opinion is on this. I know you focus a lot on the personal card side, and I'm a lot more on the business credit card side. This was appealing to me. I'm curious if it's appealing to you.
One of the reasons I don't recommend Chase Sapphire Preferred is if you're not earning more than 1 point per dollar on almost all spend, then there's a better card out there for you. Freedom Unlimited, in this case, signifies 2% back on all spend, $500 sign-up bonus, and a no annual fee card that now you're getting. Am I reading it right? 2x transferable points on every dollar spent with no annual fee?
As long as you carry a second Wells Fargo card, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I'm a business owner, like that's solid. Would like to see Wells Fargo bump up their transfer partner lineup a little bit and, boost some kind of domestic partner there. But otherwise, not a bad gig.
No, and I would say, I was actually having this conversation with, a good friend of ours, Gary Leff, recently about this card, and we both agreed that there's another, in my free time, the 2.5 hours of sleep I get at night, got another business that I'm working on, and so we actually talked about this card, and I think this is the card that I'm going to get for that business, for business expenses, because it's just an easy set it and forget it. I don't have a Wells personal card right now, but I think that it behooves me to get one if I am approved for the Signify card. So that's definitely on my radar. All right, let's talk Marriott Homes and Villas, man. Are you in on this offer? This offer is $2,500 in spend, so you have to have a paid booking. And if you have a paid booking between now and I think it's the end of the year, December 31st, if you have a paid booking of $2,500 or more at an eligible property, which I haven't looked at how widely available those eligible properties are, you get a 50,000 Bonvoy point bonus for that booking. So
this is only for elite members, right?
Marriott correct. If you have Marriott, if you have Marriott status, and if you were able to nail it, but this is separate from whatever you'd earn as an elite member. You'd still earn your elite bonus, but this effectively, if you could hit it right at $2,500, would be 20 bonus Marriott points per dollar on top of whatever you earn as an elite.
Yeah. I certainly registered for this, which don't forget, you do have to go and register.
Yep.
And I took a look because if family and I wants to get away for a week at the beach, there are some awesome properties that are on this, and you might as well pick up 50,000. Like, that's for something I was going to do potentially anyways. I really like the Homes and Villas program. I really like it a lot better than Vrbo and Airbnb. I've had great experience, and I feel like you do have some recovery potential with the Marriott name attached to it versus, as we talked about here, Airbnb saying, good luck, see you later. So, yeah, I mean, certainly looking to take advantage of it. Again, like I said, for a beach stay, and it's not hard, unfortunately, at all to blow $2,500 on a week at the beach if you're renting out a condo or a home. So picking up 50,000 points, like this caught my eye because it's something I don't think we've ever seen Marriott do something this rich
nowhere
before.
near this big for sure.
So, I mean, definitely looking to take advantage of it.
Yep. I've had 2 opportunities to consider Marriott Homes and Villas for bookings. One, I did book through them. They were slightly more expensive than booking the property direct. I did find the rental agency that had the property direct. In that case, I chose the slightly higher price with Marriott because of the protections that were built into the Marriott booking versus what the rental booking afforded me. The other instance, it was a much wider gap in price, and so I booked direct and just would have used my travel insurance policy if I had to cancel for one of the preferred reasons. So I same as you, I like the portfolio. Our stay was down in 30A, which you're familiar with. You stay down there with our buddy Summer down in Florida Panhandle.
That was in a Marriott Homes and Villas as well. It was a very nice place.
Yep, and so was ours down there, Marriott Homes and Villas. I think, my opinion on this would be I would take, $250,000 Capital One Venture X miles if I had them and use them to pay for this booking so that I wasn't coming out of pocket $2,500. And then I'd have 50,000 Marriott Bonvoy points, which hopefully maybe sort of might get me a free night at Disney World at Dolphin or Swan on those discounted nights.
And it will lately.
Right.
Those discounted nights.
Yes,
it's a swapping.
Yes, but you and I both know that's not going to stay. So
I don't know, man. I think I saw the Disney dip yesterday after expected demand to be a little flat this summer at the parks.
I don't mind that. I should buy some more Disney stock today. That should be on my list. That should have been on my list yesterday. And a shout out to Jackson Jet Setting, who called that out in the Slack community to us yesterday. Disney stock was down about 10%. It looks like it's up 0.2% today. But if you're thinking about getting into the Disney World stock game, today's a good day to do it.
Do I get free park tickets as a part owner of the company? No. Okay, perfect. There you go. I'm out.
All right. Well, the time has come, Mr. Kerr, for me to pretend to be you for just a moment and to pull out the soapbox.
Because we're going to talk about what Frontier is doing? Is that what your soapbox is on?
No, Frontier is coming soon. Coming soon to a podcast near you. No, we're going to talk about United. So, short version of this, and I'll include a link in the show notes for an article that I wrote for my site about this. But a couple weeks ago, I noticed that United was starting to put some anti-bot controls in for award searches on their website. And you would go to search for an award and you get a screen that would say, please hold,
the spinning circle of
searching. Death. Yeah. And it would wait 30 seconds and it would show you your result. Okay, fine. Like, that's annoying, but I can live with it. This past weekend, that bled over into paid searches, but in a very awkward way. I was trying to search for flights home from our trip to Japan, and I was also trying to book a Las Vegas trip. And in the combination of changing cities periodically and changing dates periodically, every time I got to like the third or fourth change and was searching for paid tickets, United would start returning a result that said, sorry, United.com is not able to complete this search. Now, that message usually means the flights are all sold out, or they don't run that flight on that day. And I'm looking at it going, in the first instance, it's like, all right, do they really not run like Maui to LAX 7 days a week? Okay, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure because I don't look for those flights very often. But I sure as heck know that they run Dulles to Vegas every day of the week. And so that was what alerted me to something that was going on. I reached out to some other friends who are, hardcore United users, and we all confirmed that there's some level of anti-bot controls that they put in place that are literally stopping people from being able to purchase paid tickets on their site. This is ludicrous to me that a company of this size would have this problem and that it would persist for days. And I think the big concern I'd have from a business standpoint is, as you well know, airlines, they make some money off of flying people, but they make so much more money on everything else. Travel insurance, rental cars, hotels, selling points, all that stuff. And if I can't buy my ticket at United and start my journey there, I'm certainly not buying any ancillaries from them. So I really wonder what this costs them.
Oh, I imagine somebody there has a revenue per hour that is lost when the site is down. It is probably not insignificant, I would imagine.
No, it can't be. I mean...
Yeah. I was trying to book Thomas and I's flights to Chicago for the Braves-Cubs game, and I could not. And I still have not. Should probably do that. But yeah, the site was catching me up. Didn't make any progress.
Yeah, you don't really need to put in a lot of variety in terms of the number of searches you do before they stop. And then, this could be resolved by the time that we publish this. One user did comment that if you use a private browser, that doesn't seem to happen. That surprises me, but I'm certainly going to try that. But these are logged in searches. United knows it's me, but they are drastically throttling what they're willing to show.
What do you think the reason behind that is?
I don't understand why they bleed it over into paid search. I understand the award side of things. My guess is that they were probably getting hit so hard on the award side that they started to put some controls in place to make sure that there was overall site stability, and they made some assumption in a dark room somewhere that, well, the average user isn't going to search for more than 3 paid tickets in a session, or 4, or whatever number. So just put that in for now, and I'm sure that'll be safe. Oh, we think it's 3, make it 5. And then they went home for the weekend, and then bad things happened. So yeah, I'm not. Beyond that, I can't really come up with a justification for why you'd want to do this for paid tickets. I'm at a loss.
Hope it continues to get better as today, as soon as we get done recording here, have to go book our flight to Chicago before it gets any more expensive.
Yeah, I've talked to at least a half a dozen people now since I wrote that article a few days ago that have booked tickets elsewhere. So, that's not indicative of millions of dollars of lost revenue, but if you extrapolate that out, these aren't the only 6 people in the world who couldn't buy a United ticket and chose to buy it somewhere else.
Yeah. Along those veins, you and I and Howie and a lot of people I know continue to run into problems trying to use the Marriott website. It just does not work the majority of the time.
Yeah. No, your problems, I think, are less pernicious than mine, and that normally when you're showing me stuff, you can't see any results.
Yeah, the search just fails.
Yeah. What was interesting was I was trying to help a friend book a trip to Iceland, and so I was trying to book Iceland hotels, and I would change the date on a search, and I would pull up new inventory, and I'd look and see, and then I would realize it hadn't actually changed the date, even though I changed the dates, and I thought it was me at first.
I've seen that too, yeah.
Yeah, and so you don't even realize you're not searching the right date range. And I got to the confirmation screen more than once. I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot to look again. And so it's just, in some cases, it's not very obvious that the website has changed the data that you put in for the search.
Yeah, that continues to be frustrating for me. I actually have 3 booked Marriott stays right now, which I don't remember the last time I flicked through the Marriott app and had 3 stays, but booking those 3 stays was a bit frustrating. I will be honest with you.
I have a solution for you.
Okay.
You can pay to sign up for the new Airbnb loyalty program, and all of your problems will go away.
All in on that. Yeah. Really interesting comments by the CEO of Airbnb. I've heard for years that there's going to be an Airbnb loyalty program, but his latest comments, as summarized, seem to say that points are dumb. They're just a subsidy for your best clients, and they're making them less profitable. And we're going to have a subscription model to something. I don't know, man.
Yeah, his quote from our good friend Gary, View from the Wing, is, "I think a paid membership is also interesting," he said. "Like a Prime. We've been looking at it for a while, and we think that's also compelling."
People's Airbnb travel has to be so irregular. It's not like a Prime at all. It's not. I need to know the context of this quote, because when I read that, I was like, what? I don't understand what that means.
The only thing I can think of is maybe they're trying to do this like Uber Eats and DoorDash have done, which I applaud them for, but hate it as a business owner.
And so as a consumer.
Dash Pass and Uber One. Well, yeah, but here's the interesting thing. So we don't raise our prices on our own website, but we pass through a 20% increase when people order from Uber Eats or DoorDash because of the commission that we're paying to Uber Eats and DoorDash. What's interesting to me is that DoorDash and Uber Eats charge us more money, a higher percentage, if we want access to those premium customers, the Uber One and the Dash Pass customers. And then when you, as a consumer, if you go in and try to buy that food from that restaurant, with the discounts they give you as part of Uber One or Dash Pass, those prices now are pretty close to my street price without the price elevation of 20%. So they're taking my money by taking a higher percentage of the transaction. They're using that to market to you as a consumer to sign up for Uber One or Dash Pass and then give you a discount back onto my prices. So maybe Airbnb is going to do that, and they're going to say, hey, we're going to charge, now we're going to charge the owners an extra $50 cleaning fee or whatever, or an extra $50 fee to have access to Airbnb Prime customers. And in that instance where we get that extra $50, then we'll use that to reduce those silly cleaning charges by $50. And good news, you save money.
Nothing of which has anything to do with being an actual loyalty program.
No.
And driving repeat guests and customers. So
pay us to be loyal, Mr. Kerr, please.
We've missed the ball on what a loyalty program should be. But I look forward to that test rolling out and continuing to never use Airbnb.
Well, you did use Airbnb. We talked about it on this show. Never use Airbnb again, maybe.
I tried to use Airbnb. It didn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, look, Brian Chesky was definitely a visionary founder when he started Airbnb, but it's just not a product that fits for you or me. So
nope.
All right, let's talk about the trifecta of discount airlines: Spirit, JetBlue, and the newest entry into this group, Frontera.
JetBlue's not a discount airline, though, right?
I'm talking about this whole mix of like JetBlue and Spirit combined.
Very colorful. We got green, blue, and yellow all together. Very colorful.
Well, yellow and blue do make green, but didn't in terms of mergers.
Yeah.
So I guess the weirdest thing, and you flagged this, and I had seen it as well. Like, what? Like, are they merging with Viva Aerobus? Frontier wants to have a new trade name of Frontera.
Is this another move into the premium sector, where they now have the business class light product up front with the middle seat blocked? Is there going to be a Frontera plane with all? I don't know, man. But I tell you what, though, I'm excited. It's like I'm genuinely excited to know where this is going. I cannot wait until the big plans for this are revealed.
Yeah, no, it's
Frontera.
It's interesting, and I don't really know what to make of it. Certainly we'll learn more, and I could certainly see somebody like Frontier trying to strike a deal with one of like the Mexican airlines, but I just don't get this.
It sounds more like an Avatar thing. Like Frontera would fly across Pandora and like do something there. Maybe that's what it sounds like to me.
I'm glad it sounds like something to you, because I'm still confused.
It's my story and I'm sticking to it. Yep.
I'm glad you're sticking to something.
Anyways, yeah. Did we actually say the news where we say like Frontier actually filed to be able to do business as Frontera with the U.S. government and they approved it? So that's the true story behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the other thing that's out there, and I think our friend Seth at PaxX.aero wrote an excellent article about this, that Spirit is making some noises about some changes coming up, and it looks like as part of this failed merger between them and JetBlue, that they're going to continue to try to go upstream. They have the big front seat, which is already an offering, a quote unquote slightly premium offering on their planes. It's they're adding Wi-Fi to their planes slowly, but they've made this move to try and appeal to the business traveler in some cases, and now there's talk there that they want to move even further upstream to try to peel some premium passengers from other airlines. I think it's an interesting play considering their financial situation.
And do they go into details of how they wanted to do this?
They said more information forthcoming in June, and so I think we'll definitely be tuned in to see what that is. I mean, this is against a fairly significant financial loss for the airline recently, and it wasn't just the merger issues that distracted them. They've had engine issues with some of their planes, so there's definitely a lot there. But I mean, as you well know with Spirit, like everything's very a la carte with them, and you can save money with Saver Club, which for my folks who travel and use Spirit, I always buy them Saver Club because it's very easy to save the money. But the loyalty program is fine, but not highly engaging. And from a business traveler standpoint, there's not a whole lot of reason for business travelers or premium travelers to want to fly Spirit. So, I mean, I guess maybe some sort of a bundle. We'll throw in, priority boarding, a free bag, fully refundable flights, like the things that premium or business travelers would want. The refundability thing is a pretty key piece on Spirit now, where typically the fee to refund a ticket is more than what the cost of the ticket is. Plus or minus $100. So,
I think I would be a buyer if you said you get the big front seat, a check bag, and Wi-Fi on a Spirit flight. I would be like, okay,
yeah.
And their operations are, at par of the big three, and
certainly
significantly ahead of significantly ahead of Frontier. So, I mean, I would be a buyer if I can sit in the big front seat with Wi-Fi and call it a day. Like, sure,
yeah. Yeah, no, I'm definitely interested to see what they roll out. I really am. I think this is going to be really interesting to see. So, and then of the big three, those little three airlines, Frontier, Spirit, and JetBlue, Seth also had a tweet based on JetBlue's recent earnings call, and they announced some interesting stuff. Part of this map doesn't surprise me. They're going to add some Mint service from the Northeast down to Puerto Rico. And specifically, they're also looking at increasing service from White Plains and Providence. And I think these are two very key markets for JetBlue. So White Plains, for folks that don't know, is Westchester County, New York. A lot of people with a lot of money that live there. That airport's dominated by JetBlue now. It's a very small airport. It was my home airport for a while. Love flying out of it. And then Providence, right in between Connecticut and Boston to be able to pull traffic in there. But what gets more interesting are the dots after the fact. So you comment on the fact that they've got this Cancun flight from Puerto Rico, which I think is really interesting and probably the weakest of the dots that are there. I'm kind of curious, do you think they're going to get a lot of business between San Juan and Cancun?
I mean, I'm looking at San Juan and these other destinations. It's like a little mini hub down here in San Juan now. You got Dominican Republic, Cancun, Colombia. Is that St. Martin? And then, yeah. So I think you got to do a heck of a marketing job to even let people know that you're flying these routes. I mean, they must have some kind of plan for that. I think that's going to be the biggest. Again, big fan of the JetBlue products, but if I'm searching flights from San Juan to the Caribbean and South America, I'm not going to JetBlue unless they've done a heck of a job marketing this to me. So yeah, I have no idea, man, but this is certainly interesting.
Yeah, I think for me, the St. Croix flight is really interesting. I wish
St. Croix, that's right, STX, yeah.
I think they have DC San Juan, regular DC. Yeah, I know that. I'm pretty sure they have regular DC San Juan service. So I guess that would be my thing. I'd be go DC San Juan, St. Croix. I wouldn't choose Cancun, but I guess maybe they're thinking about this as connecting traffic from the Northeast. So they connect somebody from White Plains to San Juan and then on to Cancun, which isn't something they've typically done. Most of their stuff into the Caribbean has been point to point. And I think it's interesting that they're stretching this further and connecting to Bogota, Colombia. That was a wow for me, because I almost think you could take, I know that they were losing money on the European stuff, and they likely still are. I could almost think you could take a Mint plane, because they're running those on the 321neos, if I remember correctly. You could run a Mint plane from New York to Bogota, and I think you could probably have pretty decent premium demand on that route. So the fact that they're connecting those people through San Juan is a little bit odd to me.
Yeah, I'm just super curious. This San Juan to St. Croix, it's 94 miles, that flight.
That's most of the Caribbean. They're all these little jumps, but they're hard to get to. I mean, you get Cayman Airways and Island Air and these carriers that run periodic service. So
some cool little lines I might have to go chase.
Oh, I would absolutely love to. I don't have the STX dot, so I would love that dot. I don't have the STI either, which is, was it SIBO?
Dominican Republic.
STI. I looked it up earlier because it was one that I couldn't recall.
Yeah.
Dominican Republic. Okay, yeah, I have not flown. I've been to the Dominican, but I've not flown into STI airport. It's Santiago. So I've not flown to Santiago. I flew into Port-au-Prince. Is the southern airport there?
Yep. No, Port-au-Prince is Haiti.
Port-au-Prince, Haiti. There's a southern. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name. I flew into whatever the southern was. I don't think it was STI though. I think it was the other one. POP maybe. Dominican Public Airport code.
Puerto Vallarta.
Not Puerto Vallarta. That's a little bit further west.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's definitely one I don't think I have on my map. And as we round the bend here, let's talk a little Disney. We're 30 minutes in here, and I there's a story that I didn't think I'd ever actually see, just because of how tough it can be in California to really get anything done. But it looks like Disneyland has won approval for expansion of the parks in Anaheim. And when was the last time you were in Disneyland, by the way?
Never been.
Oh, okay.
So never.
I don't know if you know this, but they have traffic in California. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons is I haven't been, is the thought of navigating LAX or one of the other airports to Anaheim too. It's just a lot for me to mentally get over. But it sounds like there will be a lot more to go see here shortly, starting with the parking deck. It looks like the first thing that they're going to build. So excited to see that.
Yeah, no, it's Disneyland is great. I like it for a lot of different reasons from Disney World. There are things that are very unique there and make me want to go back. But it's small, and it's in a major city, in a major metropolitan area. And I mean, I love that they got this expansion, this approval, but to my knowledge, there are no infrastructure improvements around it. So I-5 is the big highway that goes by. I don't think they're getting extra lanes. the parking garage, I'm assuming, will be well connected to the highway. But boy, it's already a bit of a struggle in this area to get in and out of it. Once you're there, it's fine, but it's a little bit of a struggle to get in and out. And I would imagine that this is going to make it a wee bit more congested for the folks from Southern California. So.
I might have to go make it. Yeah, I'm long past going out there and making a trip. I mean, it's routinely ranked as one of the top 2 parks of all the Disney parks in the world. So it's time that we go check it out.
I would say with plans to see Tokyo Disney Sea for the first time this summer, as it stands today, I would say that the Christmas overlay, the Jack Christmas overlay on Haunted Mansion at Disneyland is my favorite of all of the ride overlays that I've seen in the world. So looking to see if Tokyo Disney Sea can take over that spot. Last thing as we close out, just a small tidbit, because I just think I continue to marvel at the fact that China is still suffering this much from a demand standpoint. But Delta has killed their LA to Shanghai route. This is a route that existed at one point, went away. They announced that it was going to come back, and now they're taking off the schedule again. And I don't know, that it can be hard to establish these China flights just from a limited number of spots that we have in some of these airports, the reciprocal agreement, all that stuff. So I think it says something that Delta's willing to give up on LA Shanghai flights just because that's LA is such a prominent gateway to Asia.
More of a geopolitical situation, I'm sure, rather than anything to do with the airline itself.
I don't know. I mean, I really think that this is a demand thing because they fly it from other airports. They fly it from Detroit. Where else do they fly Shanghai from? I feel like there's another city they fly it from.
I also feel like LAX is just a constant shuffle for the sake of shuffling, Like how many different airlines fly that route from LAX? You got Chinese carriers, probably, a couple of them.
Probably, yeah. I'm sure there's other carriers. United flies it. I'm pretty sure they fly it from LA and San Francisco, if I remember correctly.
So if I'm Delta and I can just go take that A330 or whatever they were flying and stick it in Salt Lake City or Atlanta and charge whatever the heck I want to charge, and it's going to be full anyways, I'll probably go do that.
Yeah, maybe it's a pricing thing. I mean, you could be right there. Maybe they just, with everybody else that's there, maybe they just can't make the money out of LAX. Because, I mean, they have somewhere else, maybe Seattle service to Shanghai. So, but I think it's just so interesting because, I mean, pre-COVID, China was, essentially unlimited demand. It filled so many planes. So to see China routes, continuing to go away, it continues to surprise me. All right, Mr. Kerr, we've reached that point. We're at the end of the road. Whew. Man, that was a lot of articles in, call it 35 minutes. What do you got for travel coming up, man? I know you said you got the Chicago trip with you and your son, but what else is on your radar?
I'm in Vegas next week when you are not. So I have...
For good reasons.
For good reasons. Always for good reasons, yeah. Got a little Vegas going on for the first time since 2019. That's a very quick 2-night trip, which is hardly worth flying all the way out there, but we'll get it done. And then we have Chicago, and then we have New York, and then we have Disney, and then we have, I think, an adults-only Kerr trip.
Ooh.
Long overdue. I have no idea. I've been bugging you and Howie about where that should be, and I don't have an answer to that yet.
Yeah, we talked, Bermuda was one of the things on the radar, or was St. Croix on there too?
No, St. Croix wasn't. St. Lucia.
St. Lucia, yep.
Other Caicos. Sounds like Turks and Caicos is going to have to take a back seat until some of these points options open because, man, look at those hotels. I don't think so. The other place I really want to go is Banff in the summer. But, man, turns out everybody wants to go there, and all the hotels are $8 gajillion a night in the summer. So it might be a shorter season destination. So short answer is, I don't know, man.
Definitely not a winter destination because the gajillion carries over to that season, too.
Yeah. Wait, it looks like maybe a fall trip up there.
Yeah, it's a mud season. Well, the leaves changing is not great either. You want mud season. You want like March, April if you're looking for a discount for Banff. There's like 6 days in April you can get a discount.
We'll try that next year.
Well, I've got a Chicago. We should check because we might overlap dates because part of mine is a weekend trip. So we should talk about that. Maybe we actually rescue the me not getting to see you in Vegas and actually get to see you in Chicago. Sorry about not being able to go to Vegas, but lots of good kid stuff happening here. So excited for that stuff. Nothing else fun. I have a couple of Vegas trips coming up, but we are getting ramped up in a couple months from now for Japan for us. So that's our big exciting trip. Can't wait to go back. None of the family's ever been. So lots of cool stuff coming down the road. I hope we overlap for Chicago. That would be cool because I haven't seen your son in a hot minute. So, and my condolences on Vegas. By the way, where'd you end up choosing for Vegas? Did you go Aria or did you go somewhere else?
Yeah, where the conference is, Aria. Booked through Marriott. Yep.
All right. Well, That's a whole lot of stuff for us to cover in under 40 minutes. Jeremiah probably won't kill us now since we didn't go a full hour getting all those news stories out. Hope everybody loves everything we covered. If you've got questions, comments, concerns, you know where to find us. Until we upload again, we've got miles to go.
At what age do I start doing that?